They really live there? The voice of Captain Zlor crackled through the hollow comms, his eye stalks swiveling in disbelief. He turned to his first officer, Klyrnix, whose mandibles clicked nervously. The idea was unthinkable. A death world. The galactic database had stamped Earth with the highest danger classification. Acidic rain, violent tectonic shifts, predatory creatures with an almost malicious intelligence. A planet that should have been left untouched. And yet, humans. Not only do they live there, Captain, Klyrnix said, her voice a mix of awe and dread, they thrive there. Captain Zlor's gelatinous body quivered. Explain, First Officer. Are these humans immune to the planet's hostility? Klyrnix hesitated, unsure how to articulate the sheer absurdity of what she'd learned. It's not immunity, sir. It's adaptability. They don't conquer the danger. They work with it. Somehow. There was a long pause as Zlor processed this. The bridge of the exploration vessel Klyrnix hummed quietly, its crew exchanging uneasy glances. Humans were a relatively new addition to the galactic community. Fragile, small, soft-skinned creatures, they seemed utterly unsuited to the harshness of their homeworld, or any world, for that matter. And yet, here they were. You're saying they negotiate with hurricanes? Bargain with volcanoes? Zlor's tone dripped with sarcasm, though his unease was palpable. Not exactly, sir, Klyrnix admitted. They build. They innovate. They endure. And they adapt faster than any species we've encountered. When a threat arises, they don't retreat. They find a way to live alongside it. Zlor's eye stalks focused intently on the viewport, where a visual feed of Earth rotated slowly. Blue oceans, green continents, swirling white clouds. It looked deceptively serene from orbit. But the reports told a different story. The humans had domesticated chaos itself. It wasn't always this way. For millennia, Earth's natural fury kept humanity on the edge of extinction. Floods wiped out early settlements. Predators stalked the forests. Diseases, tiny organisms invisible to the naked eye, decimated entire populations. And yet, humanity persisted. They hunted predators that once hunted them, harnessed fire to warm their shelters, and invented medicine to fight unseen enemies. It's like they took one look at the universe's worst ideas and said, "Challenge accepted," Klyrnix remarked as she sifted through the data. They're not the strongest, not the fastest, definitely not the smartest, but they're the stubbornest. Is that a word? It is now, Zlor muttered. Aboard the Klyrnix, the alien crew debated whether to make contact. Officially, Earth was off limits. Its status as a death world meant it was quarantined under galactic law, a rule that most species followed without question. But humans had a way of bending the rules. Their sudden arrival in the galactic scene had been as surprising as it was unsettling. Somehow, they developed faster than light travel and leapt into the stars, bringing their peculiar blend of curiosity and chaos with them. We're being hailed, the comms officer interrupted. It's them. Zlor's gelatinous form rippled in alarm. Humans? Here. The viewport lit up with the image of a human. Male, with short-cropped hair and an easy grin. He waved casually, as if greeting old friends. Hey there, neighbors. Saw your ship in orbit and thought we'd say hi. Zlor's eye stalks swiveled toward Klyrnix in a silent plea for guidance. Klyrnix shrugged, her mandibles clicking uncertainly. Greetings, Zlor said, his voice quivering slightly. I am Captain Zlor of the Klyrnix. To whom am I speaking? Name's Jack, the human replied. Jack Harper. Welcome to Earth, the galaxy's favorite death world. Zlor's gelatin rippled in discomfort. You speak of your planet's dangers so casually. Jack laughed. Yeah, it's got its quirks, but we've got it mostly figured out. Well, except for the occasional hurricane. Or wildfire. Or, angry moose. Angry moose? Klyrnix repeated, bewildered. Long story, Jack said, waving it off. Point is, we've made it work. Humans are pretty good at that. You should come down and see for yourselves. That would violate numerous protocols, Zlor stammered. Jack grinned wider. Suit yourself. But if you change your mind, we've got coffee. Ever had coffee? It'll change your life. The transmission ended abruptly, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. Over the next several hours, the Klyrnix crew debated their next move. Protocol dictated that they report the encounter to the Galactic Council. But curiosity, that dangerous, human-like trait, gnawed at them. What made humans so resilient? How had they turned a Deathworld into a home? In the end, it was Klyrnix who convinced Zlor to approve a covert visit. "We need to understand them," she argued. "If they can thrive here, imagine what they could teach the rest of the galaxy." Zlor relented, though his gelatin rippled with anxiety. "If we're caught, we'll be stripped of our command." "Then let's make sure we're not caught," Klyrnix said, her mandibles clicking with determination. The landing was uneventful, though the planet's atmosphere, thick with oxygen and nitrogen, left Zlor feeling sluggish. The humans had directed them to a remote research station, where Jack greeted them with the same easy grin. "Welcome to Earth," he said, spreading his arms wide. "Watch your step, and your head, and maybe your everything, honestly." Klyrnix's antennae twitched as she scanned the surroundings. The station was a marvel of human ingenuity, blending technology with the raw, untamed environment. Solar panels gleamed in the sunlight, while reinforced structures stood firm against the elements. Everywhere, humans bustled with purpose, their voices rising in a harmonious cacophony. "You built all this?" Klyrnix asked. Jack nodded. "Took a while, but yeah, it's what we do. The planet throws a punch, and we roll with it. Eventually, we learn to punch back." Zlor's gelatin quivered as he watched a group of humans repair a wind turbine, laughing as they worked. "Your people are unorthodox." Jack chuckled. "You could say that, but unorthodox works. You'll see." As the Klyrnix crew spent more time on Earth, they began to understand what made humans unique. It wasn't their strength or intelligence, but their relentless drive to adapt and innovate. They turned danger into opportunity, chaos into order, and in doing so, they transformed a Deathworld into a home. "What is that sound?" Zlor asked, his eye stalks narrowing in on a rhythmic thumping noise coming from a nearby building. Jack smiled. "Oh, that's just music. Another thing we do to make life better. Want to try?" Klyrnix's antennae perked up. "Is it dangerous?" "Only if you hate fun," Jack quipped. He led them inside, where a group of humans were dancing, their movements fluid and unrestrained. The music's vibrations traveled through Zlor's gelatinous mass, unsettling but oddly invigorating. Klyrnix tilted her head, her antennae twitching in rhythm with the beat. "This is fascinating," she said, though her voice held a note of confusion. "It's how we unwind," Jack explained. "Life here throws a lot at us, so we throw a little joy back. Keeps us sane." Zlor, still quivering from the sensory overload, observed the humans' expressions. They were smiling, laughing, moving without care. It was as if they had mastered the art of living, despite their perilous environment. For a species on a Deathworld, their resilience was not just physical, it was deeply emotional. Later that evening, Jack took the alien visitors on a tour of the research station. They witnessed advanced environmental sensors monitoring weather patterns, drones tending to crops and harsh soil, and water filtration systems that turn muddy streams into crystal-clear drinking water. "What you're seeing here is just one piece of the puzzle," Jack said as he pointed to a map showing Earth's major biomes. "We've built cities in deserts, turned swamps into farmland, and even set up shop in the frozen tundras. Sure, we've had setbacks, plenty of them, but we learn, and we keep going." Klyrnix examined the map closely. "And the natural dangers? Predators, storms, quakes? You've neutralized them?" Jack shook his head. "Not all of them. Some things you can't fight. But we've learned to prepare, to minimize the damage. And when we can't, we rebuild. It's not about winning every battle. It's about surviving to fight another day." The words hung in the air, resonating deeply with the Klyrnix crew. For Zlor, who had always believed in strict control and order, the idea of thriving amid chaos was both alien and inspiring. By the end of their visit, the aliens found themselves reluctantly admiring humanity. What they initially saw as reckless hubris revealed itself as boundless determination. It wasn't that humans ignored the dangers of their world. They acknowledged them, faced them, and refused to let them define their existence. Before departing, Zlor asked Jack one final question. Why? Why endure such a harsh existence when the galaxy offers safer, easier worlds? Jack paused, his expression thoughtful. Because this is our home. It's not perfect, and it's not easy, but it's ours. And that makes it worth fighting for. As the Klyrnix ascended back into orbit, Zlor and his crew were left to ponder the strange, indomitable spirit of humanity. Earth was still a death world, but now, they understood that its most remarkable feature wasn't its dangers. It was the people who called it home. As the Klyrnix returned to the vastness of space, its crew gathered in the briefing room, a silent contemplation settling over them. Captain Zlor's eye stalks swayed thoughtfully, his gelatinous mass unusually still, a clear sign of deep reflection. They endure, Zlor finally said, breaking the silence. Not out of ignorance or recklessness, but out of a bond to their world that we cannot fully comprehend. Klyrnix nodded, her mandibles clicking softly. It's not just survival. It's belonging. They don't simply exist on their planet. They are part of it. It shapes them, and they shape it in return. The crew murmured in agreement, their initial unease toward humanity now tempered with a measure of respect. There was something profoundly unique about these humans, a trait that defied their collective experience with other species. Perhaps the Galactic Council has misjudged them, Klyrnix suggested cautiously. Zlor's eye stalks snapped toward her. That is a dangerous sentiment, First Officer. You're suggesting we defy Council directives? I'm suggesting, Klyrnix countered, her voice steady, that we advocate for a reassessment. Humans are not what the Council believes them to be. They're more. They're necessary. The room fell silent again, the weight of her words settling over the crew. The Galactic Council had quarantined Earth out of fear, but was it possible they had overlooked the value of what humanity could offer? Zlor's gelatin rippled, his equivalent of a deep sigh. It is not our place to challenge Council decrees. However, he said, his tone softening, we can submit a report, a truthful one. Klyrnix's antennae perked up. And what truth shall we tell, Captain? That humans are dangerous, Zlor said simply. Dangerous not because they are a threat, but because they reveal a truth we've long ignored. The galaxy is not a place of perfect order. Chaos is inevitable, and in chaos they thrive. Months later, in the hallowed chambers of the Galactic Council, Zlor's report was read with equal parts intrigue and disbelief. Some scoffed, dismissing humans as reckless anomalies. But others, particularly the younger council members, found themselves captivated by the tales of resilience, adaptability, and innovation. One passage, in particular, sparked heated debate. Humanity does not seek to eliminate chaos. They embrace it, dance with it, and mold it into something beautiful. They turn catastrophe into opportunity, destruction into creation. In doing so, they possess a strength the rest of us lack. The ability to not just survive the unknown, but to thrive within it. Back on Earth, Jack Harper stood on a windswept cliff, watching the stars above. Somewhere up there, he knew, the aliens were deliberating. It didn't matter much to him. Humanity had always been too busy moving forward to wait for approval. Behind him, the research station bustled with life. Scientists worked tirelessly on new projects, engineers brainstormed solutions for the next inevitable challenge, and children laughed as they played under a sky that could turn hostile in an instant. Earth was still a death world, and it always would be. But for humanity, that was just the way they liked it. And somewhere in the vastness of space, aboard a ship bound for unknown stars, Captain Zlor silently hoped that his own species, and the rest of the galaxy, could one day learn to do the same.